Alright, part 2, learning to use MS-DOS. Chapter 5, managing your files. Chapter 6, managing your floppy disk. Chapter 7, managing your device. Chapter 8, trio files. Chapter 9, managing your hard disk. Chapter 10, protecting your disk and files. Chapter 11, the MS-DOS shell. Chapter 12, creating editing file with a task. Chapter 13, take control of your system. Chapter 14, controlling and creating your own commands. Chapter 15, creating your smart commands. Chapter 16, creating more smart commands. Chapter 17, tailoring your system. Part 2 overview show that you have with you for the MS manual for the work with the computer with the chapter for the part 2 with the include the extent of the example of the real life situation illustrate each of the MS command but information organized quickly defined with a particular topic refresh the memory. These chapters present many different features with much of the material of the relevant all of the version of MS with the chapter 5 with the 6 with the describe of the managing file with the floppy disk with the device. Chapter 8 explain with the tree structure of the file system. The chapter 9 cover the U of the hard disk in detail. Chapter 10 show the U of the safeguard of the disk and the files against the law of the damage. Chapter 11 intro of the MS-DOS shell. Chapter 12 describe the MS-DOS text editor. Chapter 7 to 13 through 17. Am I reading too loud? Alright, shows you how advanced features. Chapter 5, managing your file. For the previous chapter, defined with the file with the name of the name, collect with the printer related information, store with the disk, that show with the review sample way, with the create copy, the display with the print, otherwise work with the computer file, with the chapter that describe the MS-DOS following system in detail. Showing more than how file with the name of the high create the MS-DOS the manager review with a few examples instead of the remaining chapter the book with the make familiar with the couple of recent piece, some of the chapter example the chapter 2 and 3 and 4. Repetition slow initial with the chapter 5 with the 17 present with the complete guide for the MS-DOS command you have the ever return back to enter earlier chapter the command descriptions. The MS file command. Be sure that be useful with the filing system with the contain with the disk file, with the paper file, with the must keep the orderly update with the MS file command you man with your disk file, with a bunch of the manage your paper files. Chapters cover the MS commands you use the most often the day with the day-to-day base with it. Show with the how to use the filing, the display with the directory in for the different way with the directory command. Display file with the type of the command, copy with the command file with the copy with the command send, a copy with the file with the device with the copy command, remove the file from the disk with the delete command. Change the name of the file with the rename of the command with the compare with the to file with the compare command, print a file with the print command. File name is extension chapter 4. Look at the file with the floppy disk pointed out with the file name with the MS Oscar you tell with the part. Each of the file must have a different name. You must know with the file name with up to 8 characters made up of any of the letter of the number that you can also use with the filing symbol with the tally with the parenthetical all the and then show the different characters. You can add suffixes. Call the extension file with the name, describe the contents more with the precise the extension up to 3 characters long with the include any of the characters file with the file name, not separated with the name of the period with the extension with the distinguisher on a file. Another name, just with the name of the report with the report January, for example, the 2 different file with the report January, report February, show with the most invalid files. File names that are valid and files names that are invalid because the name is too long. B of the 1994 the name is too long. 94 budget, the budget 9194 extension too long. Budget 94, there is not valid. Part 94 is not valid. No file name. Budget 95, space not allowed. Budget BDGT-95, and then a comment not allowed. Try to make file with the name of the extent for the descriptive file with the short name might with the easy the type that you have the difficulty to remember the file with the name they have that you use that for with the more descriptive name with the easily can depth of the content for the file name, special name of the file name, extension, some of the name of the file name, extension, special meaning of the MS keep with the chapter 7 of the managing of the device, MS reserve the file with the computer system, the conserve and the reserve of the name of the dome with the device name with the keyboard screen with the example with the call the con or the system clock of the clock and the money symbol. You can then use any of these devices with the names of the file name. Similar to certain name of the extensions have special meaning. MS stuff. The extensions are created by the MS stuff. They create the MS stuff. Assume the file with the contain with the particular type of the program. Down. You should also give the file with any of these extensions. Remember the most important ones listed value, and this shows BAS basic. Batch for BAT for batch, COM for command, execute for executable, HLP for the help, OVL for overlay, SYS for system. Application programs usually recognize special extensions, for example, the Microsoft with the Word process with the U with the document, identify with the document, with the BAC with the identify with the backup, the version with the document, the SCY with the identify with the file containing the style sheet with the print with the specification again, you with the used extension. They have special meaning with the application for the program. These extensions usually listed for the document. They comply with each of the programs specified with the driver that you can tell with the MSS look for the file with the specified driver, the type of the derived flavor, a colon before with the file name and specify with the file with the A with the driver report. For example, the MS for the driver, the A with the file name report. Instead, you specify the report with the MSS look for the file with the current drive. Preparing, for example, the system shown with the UV install incident isn't running with the shove of the public with the blank formatted disk with the drive of the A, tab with the filing chain with the current drive of the A, the C drive with the drive A with the MS acknowledged chain with the system prom, A drive. Now you're ready to create with the sample file with the flop disk, the filing when you see with the shift as Z with the press F6 with the hold down control press Z, then press enter. Shift the A drive, copy the con report document list of the dummy file with the control C with the MS response one file copy to A drive. Now you have created this file. You can use the MS copy command to create with the sum over the type of the copy command with the describe with the detail later and share with the create with the copies of the same over the file with the A drive copy the report with the document and over the BAC with the document and share with different copy reports of document check the A drive directory should be the list of the 6 file with the volume 0 with the number of the directory A with the report with the N and the 6 file. But remember the type of the date with the list of the different with the file name is inside with the 23 bytes should be the same. Wildcard characters make it easier the manager for the disk of the file with the most command of the list. Use the wildcard characters to handle some of the file with the ones the way you want to chain with the same thing with the of the file with the chain with the name of the perhaps or each of them you don't have the enter with the separate command with each of the file use the wildcard character to tell with the MSS you mean instead of the file with a similar name of the extension you use the wildcard with a poker game the representative of the other card and with the deck with a wildcard character can represent any other character for the file name the extension for these two wildcard characters with the asterisk with the question mark. For example, the use of the directory command to illustrate the way for the wildcard character specified with the group of the of files. Use the asterisk wildcard character for the asterisk make for the easy to carry with the command set with the file with a similar name of the extension with the representative of the 8 characters of the file, the name of the 3 characters for the extension. Use the asterisk with the representative of the entire name of the extension. Specify all of the file, the name of the extension of the file. Example, the illustrate with the type of the way with the asterisk with the character of the file and select the directory entry. Use the asterisk the same way with the MS task command, the tab as well with the specify all of the name of the budget regardless of the extension type of the budget, and then the asterisk with the MS task display with the directory entry for the file name budget regardless of the extension value name directory with the N and show with the directory with the A is then budget with the specify with the name of the begin with the B with the and B directory B. The asterisk you don't have to specify the extension for the directory with the command list for the entry of each of the file with the list of the letter B within the bar drive A. Specify all the files same extension regardless of the name. Replace with the name with the asterisk with an period. For example, to specify each of the extension for the document type of the file and the directory of the document and show the volume drive the extension of the document. Using question mark with a wildcard character with a question mark replace with only one character with the file name and extension. Probably use the asterisk more frequently. Use the question mark only the 1 and 2 characters with the valid name of the extension for the C of the question mark works. Type of the following the director budget with the dot with the question mark at and then A with the character with the specified with the name with the budget for the extension for the displaying and with the character file with the letter A. Ending with any with the character M and the staff with the display with the 2 entry with the directory with the A when I show with the volumes here with the number of the directory A with the budget. Warning about wildcard characters. Be careful that you use the wildcard care with the command with the you can change file with the suppose you several the day with the entering a year of the works budget data in 12 files, name the budget January, February, March, and so on. Same with the issue. You also have 3 files with the budget, old with the TSC with the bad. The disk as getting full, but you decide with the delete 3 unneeded file with the 2 a.m. and you with the tire, but then you got in your hurry. So you quickly type delete budget wildcard and press enter. You have over the MSC more than what you wanted. Realize immediately what you have done. You have not withdrawn until you try with the 1 over the through 12 budget file with the MSS repeat. Reply the files not found. You display with directly isn't single the file with the budget. Because with the MSS delete them all. With the commands you can chain with the delete file with a wildcard to extreme the cost of the world warning apply with the even with the version 5 of the later with the MS task includes the command named undelete but you can help recover the deleted file with the bearing this in mind undelete cannot always recover the files completely. As you see later in the book, undeleted can be valuable, but don't let it lull you in a false sense of security. Help when you need it. If you don't have version 5 or later with the MS-DOS, your version of the MS-DOS does not include the help feature with the describe with the skip of the section displaying with the directory entries. As you work with the MS-DOS, you'll find some of the commands that become familiar with the type of them without thinking of the others. You need less often with the linger with the mind with the you might have the refresh of the memory to use with the correctly with the version 5 with later with the MS-DOS feature with the call with the online help. You can all help. Call with whatever you want with the help of the command online help with intent with the teach you how to use the MSS, but with a handy guide with a remind with the form with command you haven't used in a while with a set with list command which you can have request with the help of the press enter with the A drive greater than help version MS-DOS the representative of the display with the recon with the top of the topic with the angle brackets as you have at the top of the next page. And show that you can scroll through the list of the one row at the top of the down scroll arrow key. Screen at the top of the page, up at the page, down key with the page tab with the one column with the dank for the press of the letter, with the move of the cursor for the first command, with the begin for the left, with the display with the information about the command list of the move of the cursor for the command name and press enter for the example of the U with the tab with the command previous chapter the date with the third entry with the below with the copy of the first column with the down area with the cursor on with the date and then press for the enter for the now MS so the display with the help information on the date command and then it show the addition with the description on the format command and the MS call for the command with the syntax only help can also include the note on the hide command with the notes for the cursor for the items of the notes with the press enter for the down issue with the notes about the debate or command date command with the cursor for the items with the syntax press enter with the again with the once again with the MS display with the syntax with the command with the sum of the command with the include with the example you can let just as you need note and syntax, press exit key until you return a list of command with the content. Leave the online with the help of the press the LFX. Pressing Alt key with then pressing F and displaying with the file name and the exit and the MS-DOS display with the system prompt. You can display with the help of the specific command with directly the type of the help followed by with the name of the command and the help saving as the type of the help typing help with the chosen the command with the list with the try it following type of the file following. A drive greater than help data with the MS-DOS display with the syntax screen with the data command with the date command with the L0 with the command information with the each of the display with the list for the content with the Alt C with the return with the MS-DOS represented Alt FX. Alt FX now return the MS-DOS. You can display with a different sort of the information command with the type of the file name with the over the command with the file with the space with the over the backsplash slash question mark with the type of the following, see with the kind of the information, the data, the command, with the A drive date, backslash question mark, MS-DOS simply display with the information with the command specified, followed by the system prompt with there's no item to show with no, or is the list of command display or side with the date, with the MS date, with the date. If you're using version 5, you can type help with the MS-DOS display with the list command, which can request help along with a brief description of each of the command with the shuffle screen along with any with the key with the move with the next screen with the U with the version 5 with the type of the file, help file with the command's name with the command name with the file with the backslash question mark with the MS-DOS display with the same information with the DOS version 6. We type with the name of the command file by the backslash question mark is shown below with the now with the MS-DOS file management commands. Or displaying directory entries. After you with the directory with the command with the entry with the directory with the MS-DOS with the keypad on each of the disk entry, include with the name and the extension for the file with the size with the bytes with the date with the time with the grade with the last update with the conveyed the directory with command with the display with all the entries with the entry with the selected file with the description of the command. Then here throughout with the remaining chapters you will show with the general form of the command with the name of the command, most of all of the parameters before you try with the example of the parameter the exact form such as backslash W with the / W form with the shown with the parameter with something specifying with the full file name. You'll see with the name of it should be enclosed with angle brackets, for example, the angle bracket file name and angle bracket, the directory command, and its parameter, depending on the version of the MS7, the directory command with either 3 parameters or more with the all version, specify the file name with the 2 parameters, the type of the / W or / P for version 5, and later with the more parameters among the ones that allow with the display with the, only the file name, the shift of the directory, and another range of the directory with the entry with the name of the extension, the style with the date and time. Written out with the formatted directory command with each parameter looks like with the directory bracketed file name the backslash / WP0 and sort ordered bracket names /B and S. Other parameters directory can name the descriptive label with the complete summary with appendix C with the MS-DOS command references. You include the file name and the MS-DOS with the current directory with the file specified with which you can honor the file with the proceed with the bracketed file with the name of the drive layer with the example of the directory with the A with the report with the document tell with the MS-DOS. Click on drive A rather than the current drive with the wildcard character to specify the group of the file with the example of the directory with the budget and the asterisk tell with the MS-DOS display with the entry with the file name of the budget regardless of the extension. Minute file with the name tell with the MS-DOS with the display with the entry all files with the current with the directory with the example of the directory with the display with the entry with the current directory with the current with the drive with the directory B drive display with all the entry with the current directory of the drive B with the W the back / W means wide parameter. The MS-DOS display with the file name and the exchange with the 5 column with the crop with the screen with the display with containing less information from the data complete with the directory listing with the cover the image of the file side with the date with the time with the useful with the directory with the listing with the quite long. You only want to see with the files that are directly / P with the pull for the parameter display with the entry screen one screen full at a time with the passive at the bottom of the screen with the tell with the key with the / P parameters provide with the complete file with the information include the side with the date and the time so useful when you want a detailed look at a long directory listing. /O with the sort order parameter version 5 to the left, later of the until the MS DOS that sort with the range of the directory listing by the name of the extension type of the date and time. Type directory /on sorts of the alphabetically file with the name. OE sorts the file alphabetically by extension. OS sorts the files in size of the smallest to largest. OD sort of the file with the day with the earliest and latest within the same day with the sort of the time of the morning. Even the file with the grade with the last chain with the cannot sort with the by time only. If you can type the directory OT with the sort of the time by not by the date. /B for the bear parameter version 5 with the and later with the tells MS display with the only name of the extension files is specified with the /B subdirectory parameter version 5 later for the MS display with the files in the directory. You specify all subdirectory with the directory with the example of the displaying with the directory entries. Because you've already used the directory command several times with only the option shown with the U with the /W for the parameter, C with the Y with the directory with the displaying shown with the file with the sample, the floppy diff type of the directory, /W and the A drive of the MS dash arrange just the name with the extension with each of the file columns across the screen with the version 5 relay with the display of the listing, or looks like something like one of the 35 columns showing the volume serial number of the directory A and then they show with the listing. If you have the version 4 with the early with the display, similar does not include quite so much of the detail of the display that does not contain the more information stubs near the directory display, but packs a lot of the entry on the screen of the wide format, particular handed when over the one with a little quantity with the name of the file with the crowded disk. Pausing with the directory, pause with the display with the directory disk one of the screen full with the time of the /P parameter open option, the MS DOS display with the first screen full with the entry of the file with the pressing any with the key with the destruct with any when ready. Begin your version of the MS tab with the next screen full with pressing any key with the option view with the entry entire directory without pausing the control number lock with the free with the direct display periodically. You can sample the disk contain with the one screen full with the file names, but you can also have the effect you for the back /parameter to lift the MS DOS file with a hard disk file with the directory drive, C drive, the DOS with the /parameter, P parameter, MS DOS respond to the disk filling screen with the waiting to press the key. Pressing and key with the next screen with the continue with the pressing with the key with the MS DOS with the system prompt with the control break with the cancel with the command, swim with the directory with the display. Scrap it earlier and starting with the version 5 of the MS DOS add with the new wave with the U with the display with the directory. Suppose you have the floppy disk with the full file with the directory of extension. You want to group of them that are the idea of floppy disk contain. The /O parameter directory command does the job of the version 5 of the layer of the type of the following. This is A drive the directory OE with the MS DOS and the job of the report and the listing of the file with the average arranged alphabetically extension. Remember that you can offer the group of the file with the file name and the type of the date and the time of the last. In particular, you feel whether you have the more of the one version file whether you want to look with the version in chronological order. Listing only file with the, if you simply want to use the see with the files on the disk, show with the /B with the parameter gives you the bare bone with the look of the content with the sample of the file with the instant with the directory the bare A drive bare actually bare parameter /B with the display. Finally apply with the MS DOS command. Remember the MS DOS version 5 later you can tell whether you use the /Q parameter refresh the memory about the command and its parameters displaying a file. Many of the files you can use the text file, but there will be in time whether you give it a check with the contents of the file, but do not need the print copy of the MS stuff. Will give you the quick way to watch some of the file with the type of the command, then type the command. The name type of the carryover the date that most copying computers have the only console look like with typewriters. When you use the type of the command with the MS DOS display with the file without stopping the file with the longer on the screen with longer than one screen full, you want to read the entire side of the free with the display with the pressing control number locked by you with the more command, the type of the command with the U with the one parameter. Type of the type and then file and then bracketed the file name of the on the file with the display with the type of the command with the display just one file with the name. You can use the wildcard and character of the file name. Use the wildcard character of the MS DOS display with the invalid file not found. Return the command level. The file with the name of the does not exhibit the MS DOS display with the file not found. Again, with the end of the return of the command level. Example of displaying a file with a display with the file name, the report with the document with the file, div with the current drive with the verify with the sample the div with the drive A type of the A drive type of the report with the document the MS DOS supplies. So this is a dummy file. You probably use the type of the command frequently check your text files. Or making copies. If you just says sometimes make a copy of the paper file, you'll find the need of the copy of your disk file. But you may want to share the file with a colleague who have the computer you want to alter the copy with the slightly produce with a different version that you want to copy the file from. The hard disk with the floppy disk can carry it with you. Copy command make with a copy of the file on the same disk with a different file name or a different disk with any valid file name. When you make with a copy of the file with the copy command have the two major parameters. and that's bracketed file 1 and bracketed file 2 on format with a command copy is copy file 1 bracketed file 2 bracketed. File 1 is the file to be copied. The source file. File 2 is the name of the copy to be made with the target file with the key with the wild character. This is the copy the setup file with the 4 additional. Seldom use the parameters. Parameter A, B, and V and Y is described in the copy command with the enter for the dependency with the mdos command references. When you copy a file, with pay attention to the condition of the specified with the file 1 bracket with the include with the drive level and not with the current drive with the commit file 2 bracket the mdos copy the file 1 to the diff of the current drive with the give of the copy with the same name of the original example there with the current drive with the C with the copy with the A report with the March. You specify only drive with the file 2 with the file copy with the disk with the drive specify MS given the same name of the file 1. Same with the color fiber report fiber where A with the specify the file 1 doesn't exist. MS-DOS respond with the file not found with the name of the type of the file 1 or ZO file copy the return with the command level of the file 2 with the not exist with the MS-DOS grade with the copy with the file 1. Specify file 2 that does not exist with the view of the version 6.2 with the MS-DOS reply with the contents of file 1 the same to leave an existing target file with a careful not to give the target the same name of the existing file you want to keep. Version 6.2 later with a warn you with a message override with the file 2 yes no or all of in file 2 already exists the target location give you the opportunity to cancel the copy. Following practice this session illustrated a different way with the copy file with the section allow with the describe the situation you might use each of the form of the command. Example of the copying files you with the document already have on the disk. You want to keep the original with it as well with the same version. Example the must copy the report doc with the same floppy diff the name of the result of the type. Copy report with the doc result with the MS-DOS acknowledges one file with copy to verify with the both with the report doc results are on floppy disk display with the directory with the type of the A directory. Volume now show with the 7 file with the floppy drive with the directory with the A and show with the and then any type of the verify with the results. Example the directory with the command C with the file with the floppy disk. Suppose you want to copy the file with another disk and store with the under the same file with the name of the disk with the current drive. For example, the current drive with the drive A with a copy the file with a different drive with the floppy disk with the drive A with the need to specify the drive layer with the name of the store with the file. Because of the MS app with the stream that you want to copy the store with the file with the disk current with the drive with the give with the target file with the same name and left with the specify with the otherwise. Try and one over the file with the subdirect with the hard disk with the name. Read text, read me text with a copy of the drive C with a hard disk with the floppy disk drive A, current drive with the type of the following A drive, copy the drive C drive, DOS, read me text, MS DOS responds one file copy. Next, suppose you want to change the file with the new version of the same the name of the on the same disk of the original. You want to be able to distinguish between the two versions. Simply make of the copy of the file with the same disk, the same file name. Different extension, you with the asterisk wildcard with the tail with the MS-DOS, you with the same file name, for example, the made copy with the budget March and call it budget mark April. Drive the following MS-DOS, A drive copy budget mark April, March asterisk, and then dot April. MS-DOS knowledge of the copy of one file with the shovel the file with the report started on the disk. So you want to copy the see with the copy with the original, the copy of the new project, the board with the confusion, give it the copy of the file name, but have the same extension. For example, the make of the copy each of the file name report, give it each of the copy of the forecast, the type of the file, and the copy of the report with the stop wildcard forecast dot wildcard. MS-DOS to play with the name of each of the source file that makes the copy of the and then show the reported document report batch. Two files copied. You copy all the file with the floppy disk to specify the source files as asterisk period asterisk. Specify the target. The copy all the files on a floppy disk. Specify the source of the asterisk by asterisk. Specifying the target is just the drive letter. Perceive this not the same with copy the floppy disk with the disk command with the difference. Explain with a section called comparing two floppy disk that begins with the letter on page 110 in chapter 6 with the manager floppy disk. In addition for the copy command MS-DOS version 3.2 letter include with the two additional command with the copying the file with a selectively replace with the letter. You can copy the only file with the already if each of the is if the target disk X copy and which lets you copy the entire subdirectories in addition with the file within the directory mode. Both these commands described in the chapter 9 managing your hard disk. Or sending your file with the disk. In chapter 4, you look at the file with the floppy disk, print with the file with the U with the copy with the command, send with the copy of the file with the print with the send with the copy of the file with any other device. If, for example, you only copy the communication connection port with the computer with the file goes wherever there is attached for the port, such as the telecommunication line of another computer. When it's the send with the copy of the file with the output device with the copy command have the two parameter the copy with the bracketed file name and the bracketed device with the bracketed file name of the to be sent within the bracketed device with the name of the device to which the file is to be sent. Be sure for the device bracket that exists and you try to send the file with the device that does not exist, that is not ready, isn't ready. MS-DOS might stop running. You won't want to hurt anything, but you have to restart with the system. Example of sending file with the device, send with a copy each with the sample of the file with the doc with the printer with the make certain with the printer with the turn on the type of this A drive the greater land some of the copy of the asterisk document PRN. MS-DOS will display with the name of each of the send with the file printer. And the files printed with no separation between the MS-DOS reports. Only one file was copied, but in fact, the only output was created with the printed copy of the 3 files. Combining files. Sometimes it's useful to combine several files. Perhaps you have the able to short documents. You have the decide with the easier, the more convenient way work single document include with the short ones. You have several sets of file names with a similar name. The extension that you combine with each of these set with a new file with a copy command that allows you to copy the several file with a new file with destroying with the original version. When you copy the combined file with the copy command with the 2 parameter copy source and target the source with the representative of the file with the combined. Well, the wildcard name, the sort of the combined, the several file names, so separating each of the next with a plus sign symbol. Any file with a list doesn't exist. The MS-DOS go with the next name when telling you the file doesn't exist. Alright, your target represents the file with the result of the combining sort files specified with the target with the MS-DOS combined with the sort of the file with the target level with the non-specify the target that does not specify the individual source. MS-DOS combined with all sort of the file with the first file with the source bracketed list the chain within content with the before the copy the actually perform the MS-DOS version 6.2. Later we'll warn you about overwriting the first file with example over the combining files. So you have 2 files you want to use with the base for the single file, new file, but you want to keep the original intact with the example to combine with the bank document, with the report document, with the file name of the bankrupt document title with a copy of the bankrupt report document, and the MS-DOS display with the name of the source of the file with the copies of them again. The MS-DOS report with the only with one file copy of the command was created with only one file, but you can also copy the tail of the file into an already existing file with the command budget January, February, March into the first file with the budget January. Type this. A drive the FWAC greater saying copy the budget dot January plus budget dot February plus budget dot March. MS display with the name of each of the source of the files, copies, and next suppose you want to keep the monthly budget file for each of the end of the year, still with the name of the separate monthly fund. Monthly file with a compare with the next year figure. Right now, you want to work with all the file with the give with the combine all the file name budget with the file with the name of the annual budget, the type of the copy of the budget with the wildcard annual budget. MS-DOS responds. Or suppose you put the combined file part here is the file with the same file with a different extent with the combined with the owner with the same file name with the new extent for the end of the both original combined versus the example. If you enter all the example of the one with the file with the top with the unfloppy div with the drive A with the report doc with the report batch, forecast back and forecast batch combine each of the pair of file with the same name and extent with the document and batch single file with the same name and extension of the mix of the type of this. Copy of the asterisk batch plus the document batch special asterisk mix. MS display with the name of the file with the copy of this report. This time in the MS-DOS report, the 2 files come by copies. Copied because of the command create the 2 file with the report mix and the forecast mix. Moving file with the moving command next to version 6.0. Move the file with one place with another. Move of the work with the give with the copy command. Except for the does not leave with the copy of the file with the original location. Because of the move of the command is most useful for the managing directory of the file with the describe in the chapter 8 with the tree file with the under heading of the moving file with one directory to another. Alright, deleting files. Just as you have to clean out with the file drawer once in a while, you occasionally have to clear out the disk of the files that you no longer need. Delete with the command, you can type with the E with the delete, DEL or erase, delete one or more of the file with the disk. The delete command has 2 parameters, delete and then bracketed file number, /P for parameter. File name and name of the file to be deleted. If you use the wildcard MS-DOS deletes all file with the bracketed file name of the MS-DOS display with the file not found with the return with the command level P4 the /P parameter version 4 tell with the MS-DOS run with the verification but with the delete of the file with the use of the wildcard delete more than one file with the MS-DOS prompts you with the verify deleting each of the file. Or safeguards, when you delete the file MS-DOS, assume that you know that what you're doing, that you know with exactly the file with eliminating, you don't want them to anymore, but being with a human is sometimes making mistakes, you need to protect your file with one again. A good safeguard with a copy command, the MS-DOS does not limit the number of the times you copy the file. You think with a copy command with a computer-based equivalent with a photocopy machine, the copy preferably with onto the different disk, whenever it's valuable, outweigh the manual time and the effort required to copy. When you delete the use of the /parameter, P, especially with the wildcard, you specify the set with the wild, you use the parameters to tell the MS-DOS with the prompt with the confirmation, only type of the hesitate with the before and during the delete of the command when you use the type, delete, asterisk, wildcard, dot, asterisk, or because of the form of the delete command for version, remove all the file with the MS-DOS prompts. All files in the directories will be deleted. Are you sure? Yes or no? If your version MS-DOS does not include the /p parameter, double check the command screen before pressing it to verify the drive letter with the necessary for the file, the name of the extension, the type of the wildcard character, with either the string you know exactly which for the type of the delete. Consider the using safety check, press escape, the cancel the delete command, and then use the same wildcard character for the directory for the directory command, and list of all the files, and this match for the wildcard characters of the file. Names you match the one with the expected to see with the re-enter of the original delete command, the competence and safeguard particular helpful you with the using version of MS-DOS. You don't also have the support of the /p parameter involved with the read-only attributed file that you want to keep the page 178 chain of the attributed file of the directory. Be aware of that. If the wildcards are either identified with the group of the file with the deletion of the candidate file with the have the read-only attributed, will not be deleted with the bonus message provided in this effect. For example, the deleting file, the cautionary statement is itself, the delete is itself the one with the easiest MS-DOS commands. For example, the delete of the file with the budget APR on the file disk, the current drive is the A drive with the greater line delete budget, and then the file name. The precedent of the file is gone. Similar type of the delete with the MS-DOS file with a copy of the hard disk. A drive with the delete with a readme text. The next example, the delete the file with the same floppy disk with the extension of the batch. You will have the version 4 later with the /p parameter to have the MS-DOS file with the verification. Check with the following command, omit the /p with the parameter use the earlier version, delete asterisk wildcard batch /p parameter p MS-DOS respond with displaying with the name of the first file with extension of batch, asking whether you want to delete it, yes or no, and then you type Y to delete it, the MS-DOS show the name of the next file with again, forecast batch, delete, yes or no, the type of the yes again with the file, with if you type at the end, the respond with the either prompt of the MS-DOS, we have the file alone with the move of the next file with the match with the name of the type of this prompt with the delete command with the /p with the type of the handy with the Y, the delete several but not all file with a similar name and extent for the prompt, leave the lets you avoid entering separate command at each of the file. But what if the version of the MS-DOS does not have /p parameter option? If you type delete with the command delete with the asterisk .batch, you will the disk drive with the active with the brief time and the delete press with the enter the key with the system prompt return with the screen with the short time MS-DOS with the two sample file with extension batch without telling you the name of the file with example the underscore with the need with the be sure with the type of the correct file with the name of the correct drive with the extension with the necessary with when you view the wildcard characters with the delete command whenever you've not the /p parameter particularly careful you the question with the same file making a file extension see that you created two additional test file with the type of the filing. Copy resolves the asterisk 1 and 2 files copied to give the 3 file with the same name and the different extension resolve the result 1 and 1 through and 12 1 2. Now type of the directory command the single question mark and mark an extension made before you enter and decide the file with the MS-DOS list. MS-DOS directory resolve period question mark as wildcard MS-DOS, two lists of files and serials in directory A. If you expect to see only result 1, respond with the directory command with the surprise with the type of the delete with the command instead of the directory command the file with the list see the list of the MS-DOS would have them raised. Unexpected rate listings can be monetarily confused with the unintentionally deleting list of the file with deleting definitely unpleasant from the surprise. Delete both of the files you just created with the original result of the file. Fill file untyped with the following document command. A drive the delete result of the .1 and question mark wildcard. Type 1 and first character extension show the result of it isn't effective however even though if you include the question mark would check with the lace with a single character after 1 MS-DOS result of the 1 will resolve of the 1 2 be careful whenever the wildcard command and chain with the delete files. Alright, changing file names. There will be times when you want to change the name of the file, but it might simply change with your mind with the perhaps you have changed the contents of the file, so with the much you want to give it the name of the more closely describe the new contents. For example, the word of the processing program automatically makes the backup the copy whenever you edit and save the file, rename the command, and it can be valuable to what happens in working copy is inadvertently lost the damage perhaps with the power fail that you may have the problem with the program itself the manager mingled the file with the editing change that want you to start all over from scratch. Rename the command chain with the file name and extension in both. You can use the wildcard character to rename the set files. Abbreviate the rename command with as REN if you have the two parameters. Rename bracket the old name bracket the new name. The old name is the name of the existing file. With the, if the does not exist with the MS-DOS display with a duplicate file with a file not found return with the command level. New name bracket is the name that you want to give it the specified with the old name. If there's an already file with the name of the new name of the MS display with the document file with the name of the file not found, return with the command level to 2 file with the same disk of the having the same name of the MS task for the have of the existing file will carry out with the commands over the built-in save the guard key with inadvertently erasing one file with the process of renaming another. Renaming command simply change the name of the file, but it does not copy the file to a different disk. But the old name and the new name must refer to the file with the same drive. If you specify with a different drive letter with the new name file, MS-DOS repends for the invalid parameter. Example: the changing file name. Change the name of the annual budget to file on the disk of the direct drive of the type A drive with the back greater than symbol the renew annual budget and then final. MS-DOS change the name of the display with the system prime the chain of the extension of the budget March for the March 02003 on the disk of the current drive. You can reuse the asterisk as a wildcard character for the file, new file name, rename budget March wildcard 003. Following name would be budget 003. You can change the extension of the text, all five of the DAC for the current drive, use the asterisk for the both of the old new names type of the following. Renew wildcard the text, then verify chain with the directory command by typing the directory and wildcard text. MS-DOS shows all four of the file that you have with the extension of the document, and then they're changed to the text. If you with the directory command not display the entry of the file name and extension of the MS-DOS file was not found. Comparing files. Sometimes you want to know whether the two files are exactly the same. Suppose you have the two names over the budget of the current diff, they have the same length, but they are different. But with the two copies of the same one, with the display with the print bold paper files and compare them when they quit could take quite a while. But you may still might miss some small differences in quicker and more accurate way to use the file command system or FC. File compare has two parameters, dependency of the MS-DOS command ref the listing with all the parameters. FC of the file compare, file bracketed 1, file bracketed 2, file bracket. Alright. File 1 and file 2, the file names are files to be compared. File compared display with a different result depending on the type of the file with the comparing. Both files containing only type of the file compared with the lines of the first file with the line of the second file with the file. The difference display with the last line each of the file match. Lines do not match the first line each of the ones again to match. The file compare continue with the compare file until the complete comes another unmatching portion whereupon a display with another set of line file compare check with 100 lines. Without finding a match, display with the message resync fail. The files are two different. Some versions of the MS display the message files are different. And one or both the files you want to compare with the non-text file, the type of the program file that they have with extension the EX execute a command system objection library or bin. File compare perform with the byte by byte comparison compare with the two files with the beginning end of the and always checking to see whether the byte with the corresponding position when the files match. It does not display mismatched line with the list of the character of the difference of how each of them form from the beginning of the file with the only file short with the other file. File compare compare display with the message of the FC with the file X no longer than file Y at the end of the comparison. MS-DOS version 3.3 through 5 with also included compare command C with the compare entry with the appendix C with the more information. For example, the comparing file with the following example show with the MSC prime with the respond with the appear with the version 6 they have the earlier version MS-DOS message with the different with the command work with the describe with the tab with the command show with the bear in mind that you may not exactly what you see shown here. Compare with the report text with the budget February type this FC format compare report text the budget February files identical to the MS-DOS replies the files no differences encountered because all the simple file with the same file words would be created. The two different types of the files file compare notifies you the difference to create a file compared one text to type of the following. A drive copy compare one text and then show the lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 and then control shift. Not create with the name compared to the text of the skip line 3 with the add summon line with the end of the type of the copy with the compare text 2 lines 1 through 2, 4, 5, and 6. Not compare one text to compare two texts. This type of the format compare comparable one text comparable two texts. The file compare command compare. File will then report the difference comparing the file with the comparable one text and two text. This line 1, 2, and 3, 4 with the compare text 2. This line 2 and 1 4 compare text 1 2 3, then list line 1 5 and 6. As you can see, file compare file with the two matching portions of the file with the first section with the display point with the absence of the line 3 with the comparable two text, second with the last section list with the two added lines because you want the need with the two files and delete them now and be as delete compared question asterisk wildcard question mark text. See the difference between comparing text files with comparing non-text files, two non-text files from the DOS subdirectory on your hard disk. Compare the files. Edit command and help command type of the following federal A drive format compare C drive DOS edit command / C drive DOS H command MS DOS quickly displays the difference in findings. Each line gives the location of file with the mismatching character value with the representing with the character with the number of the company name with the digits 0 through 9, letters A through F, the character from the base of 16 number system, usually called hexadecimal, which A through F with the U with the represent with the decimal numbers 10 through 15. You must now have and know what different characters are. You must calculate the exact location. You with the chart with the American Standard Code Informational Exchange, or ASC23. Which show the character within encoded, and you would go to the hexadecimal arithmetic. The manual that came out with the computer might contain both. You the wildcard character compare with the two set of the files. One command with the compare all file with extension text. Again with the all file with the same file name, but with the extension mix type the following A drive format compare wildcard text wildcard mix. There are now four file with extension of the text only with the report mix and the forcat mix with the extension of the mixes. The MS-DOS text tells you the files you can find with only with the comparable comparing files report text and report mix, report text, report mix. This is a dummy file comparing file with the bank text and bank mix and bank mix. You file comparing bank mix, not such a file directory, even forecast text, forecast mix, dummy file. Comparing bankrupt text and bankrupt mix. File compare cannot open bankrupt mix, no such file directory. Or printing files. You can print over the files of the same you can print files at the same time you use the computer doing the other things. Print command keeps the list of the print queue. Files printed with the print the file with an order that they appear with a queue with the print queue, but normally over the 10 files. Here's some printing command with the command lets you the chain with the sum of the character of the basic operation notable stuff with the print with the queue with the chain with the MS dash U with the further description with the U with the print command chain with the operation with the print command later in this chapter. Because of the computer can really do only one thing at a time. The MDS prints with nothing and it happens if the part of the thing between keystrokes. You notice when the print slow, but sometimes even it stops when something else is going on, especially the MS-DOS, the disk drive. You use the print command to add a file with the print queue, delete with a file with the queue, with the cancel all, quit with the display with the name of the file with the print queue, use the print file with the print command, four main parameters, print bracketed file name, parameter C, parameter T, file name of the file with the add with the delete with the print queue, we enter one or more of the following print command, just type of the list of the file name, separating each of the name and the X for the blank. Parameter P, print, tell the MS-DOS, the bracketed file name to print queue with the MS-DOS, assume with the parameter of the specify the printed file the name. Parameter C, cancel the MS-DOS, remove the file name to print queue with the file with the beginning of the print with this printing sometimes. And then parameter T, terminate, stops all printing. If the file being printed is printing, stop all files are removed from the print queue. If entering printing command, no parameters, MS-DOS display with a list of files with the print queue. Example of printing a file. Following example of works best with the dot matrix printing with a equivalent factor fee with the U with the fan fold paper that don't have the stuff with the printer, U with the network printer with the U with the might prefer with the reader through the example rather than try to use them for yourself with an uncut sheet printer with the network printer. Some of the examples that might not work with the described several can you call with the faster printer. Use many sheet with the paper, the MS-DOS available with the printer with the next page with each time with the new printer. Check with the examples of the before and you try. You can then read and try stop the printing properly. You'll have to say both time and the paper for the preparation. Most sample file will create with the tablet consider with a single font line with the wood print with the too quickly with the try to use the printer parameters of the following example. The copy with the readme text file with the DOS directory with on the hard drive with the floppy disk with the A drive copy the C drive with the DOS with the readme text. File is significantly larger than the others on floppy disk will certainly take some of time to print with the ready text readme text of the A drive the print readme text. So the first time you enter the print me command the staff to start of the system, MS-DOS might prompt you with the name of the printer. You use the name and list of the drive of the printer. The bracket with the printer means the MS-DOS with the device with the name of the printer with the enter of the key unless you have more than one printer tab with the system. You are using the printer with a serial interface. You possess enter everything you have never printed with your printer pressing enter key. When you respond with the prompt, MS-DOS load with the printer command with the file with the memory with the key with the until you enter for the turn off the system error to start with the MS-DOS report with the program loaded with the resident part of the printer installed. When MS-DOS begin with the carry over the printer command and display with the name of the printer with the tab with the file with the unprinted queue with the A drive readme text is currently being printed. There is one in file with the printer queue with the readme text with not being printed with the printed file with the chapter 4 with the printer copy with the printer with the MS-DOS display with the system prompt. Could not use the system unit until the file is printed by the time of the system prompt return with the system. Assume with the printer and start with the MS-DOS starts the printing at the file with the printing command MS-DOS read with the accept the number of the command from you. If you decide you do not want to print the file with after all, we'll remove it into the printer queue with the read the parameters C with the type of the command with the top of the next page. Readme text then printed as A drive print me readme text and then parameter C which is cancel MS-DOS display with the rest. First, acknowledgement of your command, and this is print queue is empty. Stop sending line with the printer, even though the printer probably continuing the operate and finish with the printing characters already received. At this point, with the printer stop at the end of the paper, the new page. If you check the last line with the printer out, you might see this a message as notes on MS-DOS version 6. File provides information not included with the MS-DOS queue with the guide of the MS file. A drive readme text canceled by operator. You can put more than one file with the printer queue with a single print command. See if the MS-DOS print readme text budget and printer show the print readme text and the budget for January. MS-DOS starts with printing readme text display with the print queue, the readme text and budget January and queue. If you want to stop printing, you can remove all the file with the print by some parameter T with the type of the following readme text is printed. A drive parameter T again MS-DOS split with the acknowledged print queue with the empty with the time and the off the print message all file with the cancel the operator with the point with the operating with again. Advance the paper to remove with the remaining file with the queue. You can also put some of the file with the print with the queue once with the wildcard characters print all the file with the extent with the text with the A print print wildcard text. The MS-DOS tells you the file with the queue and 5 files in queue in order to may vary with the 7 and then show with the queue all of the texts on A drive. MS-DOS prints the. Alright. MS-DOS prints the file order shown, stopping all of the printing again with the A drive print with the parameter T terminate. Again, MS-DOS stop the printing with the current file print with the cancellation message of aim with the paper the remove with all of the remaining file with the queue with the acknowledge with the screen print with the queue with the empty with the next example with the double sheet with the paper the down with the continuous form with the paper the automatic sheet feeder shouldn't show with the example that we could easily print with the command playing with the printer with the skip with the section called changing operation print command. The print command normally hold with the 10 files. To fill up the MS-DOS print all the files on the floppy disk with the drive A with the 12 text file with the MS-DOS put with the first 10 in with the cube and the type of the following A drive print is wildcard parameter extension per wildcard MS-DOS tab with the queue fully display with the list of file with the queue again or with the my print my vary queue is full. Really don't need to print all the files. Stop all the printing, typing, print parameter T to terminate MS-DOS empty with the queue and alter for the edge before print queue is empty. Changing operation of print command. MS-DOS initially limited with the print with the 10 file with the increase with the side with the queue with the tell with the MS-DOS with the print with the standard print with the PRN more detail with the print in chapter 7 of managing your devices. You can change the print command operation the first time you see the print command during the session with the computer. You can try with these options again. Restart with the MS-DOS turn on the computer off. MS-DOS will display with the message invalid switch ignore with the command. When you with the chain with the side of the print, you with the name of the print with the print command. You with the two parameter D and then the colon bracketed printer parameter Q bracketed size printer tells you the printer name of the printer with the D printer MS-DOS with the same printer with the print. Q side of the tab with the number of file with the print Q can hold with the minimum number that is 4 with the maximum number 32. But if you omit with the parameter Q size, the printer Q holds 10. If you wanted to increase the size of the printer Q15, you would tell with the printer parameter Q15 the first time that you use the printer command. Use the print command. If you wanted the MS-DOS use the printer named LPT1, you would type the printer parameter D colon LPT2. You combine these parameters with the same print command. You can not combine with the other parameters unless the entering of the print command with the first time and simply the MS-DOS with the print command lets you print text file without losing using system during the printing with it can be both of you and your system most productive. Be aware that when you're using the print command to print one or more files stored within the floppy disk, the MS-DOS continue to read the floppy disk within the system with the prompt to display with the do not remove the floppy disk until the printing text is complete with the MS-DOS attempt to read the floppy disk with the disk if it has been removed. No message is displayed on the screen. Another program can be only using the screen, but printed output will contain the message not already aired with the reading file with the A drive, the file name and extension, bracketed several infrequently. Use the parameters to give you more precise controls over the print of the program. Incorrect MS-DOS described in Appendix C, MS-DOS command and reference. Chapter 6, Managing Your Floppy Disks. Testing.